I just love that beginning.
I like the music.
The music is awesome, and it's just such a great beginning.
Well, the exit video is almost done. I just didn't get a chance to work on it today. So
All right.
I have it for you by the time you get back from Disney.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Jackal Garage, your Monday night chop shop, coming to you live via the interwebs. I'm your host, Chop, and with me is Saw.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's all.
I'll take that. I'll take that nickname. I'll take that nickname. Absolutely will.
You'll take Saw, and I can be Chop, and we can be
Chop. There you go. Chop Saw. Yeah, there you go.
No, it's got to be Chop and Saw.
Something. That's awesome.
That
How you doing, buddy?
I am. I have declared war against my cat.
Oh, right.
Over the weekend, I built the walls around the patio thing, like I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
And he is now confined. He can go out the door, but he can't leave the patio.
Right.
But he is now back to using the litter box, which is
Yay!
what the whole purpose was. But he is not happy.
Well, tough.
Well, but his name is Mr. Murder Mittens, so I'm expecting to wake up with a slice across my throat.
I am fortunate in the fact that I have a cat who has all the attitude of a cat, but
right.
he actually responds a lot like a dog. Because you've heard the whole story of him tapping on the head in the middle of the night wanting me to pet him.
Sure.
He's learned to respond to the two words of "stop it." And now when he climbs up and he does that, because I'll normally pet him and then he's not done. He's, "Oh, you haven't petted me enough." Or do that whole tap on my forehead thing or tap on my leg. And now I just go, "Stop it." And he looks at me like, "Okay," and he gets off the bed and leaves. So there you go.
But it was a much needed thing. So I'm glad it's done. I had to go get reinforcements. So I bought some like wildlife netting.
Right.
And the first night I got it up, he was like clawing at it. I'm like, he's gonna rip right through that. So this afternoon, or after I came home from the doctor's with my wife, I put up like construction netting on the bottom now. So now he can't get through the construction netting. So
that'll learn you.
Yeah, go figure. Cats.
Well, they own us. It's not the other way around. So
that is so true.
Yeah.
My hair has no product in it, so it's a little floppy today.
You look a part of the Jackal Garage guy. Your hair's all set, you all slick back, and
yeah, but it's getting.
Oh, look at that! That's a great look for you.
It's getting long. I'm almost ready for the ponytail, man.
Oh, there you go. Just don't do a man bun.
Well, I might have to grow my hair out for work. I might have to go to the man bun. Good evening, David.
Hey, David.
That way I
may have to put a partition up between us here to if you're
so anyways, life has been good. Just been staying busy. Went car shopping today. I got something I want to show that I picked up today that I think is pretty cool. And for this evening's activity, I want to go back and revisit that van bus looking thing that I showed last week that was all chrome. I got it all stripped, so I want to revisit that today.
Okay.
Kind of show everybody what it looks a little bit better when it's not chrome.
Cool.
But I did
find. You want to look at some photos?
Sure. Let's look at some photos. I like photos.
I got some photos worked up here.
Photo time. I will press more buttons.
That's what I'm doing right now. So
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
There we go.
Ooh.
And look at that.
It's been a while since I've been on the show with my headaches and everything else, but I have I tried to get caught up as best I could. So,
well, this is David. I'm not familiar with the car. The car looks cool. It's kind of a El Camino-ish type look to it.
I like that large metal flake sparkle thing going on there.
Yeah, but the main thing he's showing off is the fire extinguishers.
Yeah, they look good.
So David has created fire extinguishers using his 3D printing madness, and they actually say Mars on them, which is cool. And so he's gonna be able to print those up. I actually have those, and
Sweet.
I'm probably gonna end up putting one on his Erikenstein if I find a good enough spot for it. I don't know yet. I want to make sure I have the right spot for it.
Right on. I would something like that. I put like right on the. That's like my brother does. My brother does he builds race cars, and he always has the fire extinguisher right on the one of the rails for the roll cage. So.
Yeah, but the roll cage on the Erikenstein is exposed externally, so I don't know if there's no roll cage internally.
Remember, it's about look.
Oh, okay, never mind. Maybe I'll find a place to put it.
It's called safety theater.
Oh yeah, that's true. So it doesn't actually work.
It's like when you're in a boat and do you have life jackets for everybody? Yeah. Yeah, like laying on the seat, and that's about as far as it goes.
So. Anyways, these are Tim's. He's working on some unique cars. I don't know the two futuristic ones. I think one's Black Widow, the black one.
Right.
I don't know what the other one is. But it looks cool. And then an old coupe car, which I really think is cool.
Yeah, it looks good. I like it.
I've got a few of those coupes. I don't know what I want to do with mine yet, but that's a good idea with the turret.
Yeah, on the top. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. It's good.
Very cool. Oh,
I have to say, I absolutely love this. Just the shot.
Well, that is an actual photo from Arizona Packard. Okay, so that's a Packard. Cool. I just said it was good. I didn't know what it was. Cool.
Well, he's got a question mark, so he's actually thinking Packard, maybe.
Packard, maybe. Okay, could be. I don't know.
I love this shot. This is
awesome. that is Andy's 2021 Ford Bronco, which, by the way, you are getting one of those.
Now, is this live background or a picture?
No, that's just my computer.
Okay, good.
I just got an Arizona scene from my computer and took a little photo. The road section is one of my neoprene road sections that I use for gas lines.
Right.
So, but yes, it was a very, very creative photo.
It looks great.
Thank you. And we went with the off-white for the rims. I didn't think white would work on the rims, primarily because they're always going to be dirty. So there's going to be a natural staining to the wheels.
Now, and is this the color the one that your wife is getting?
That's the color she wanted. They didn't offer it in the model she wanted.
Oh, okay.
And they only had a limited number that they were willing to paint in that color. Right. But it was a different model, and she said, no, I'm not going to get the crappy model. I want the model. We got the mid-tier model, so yeah.
Well, really nice.
Did the taillights with the silver base coat with a little bit of the to me a clear red on it, which creates a nice metallic looking taillight. But like the rims are that off-white, and I think that looks a lot better than if they were pure white.
So. I like it. Oh, and by the way, thanks for joining, Joe. Good to see you tonight.
Yes.
We said that he said something. We actually acknowledged the fact he just joined us. So, but I believe this. Yeah, this is the last of the picture. I really like the way that came out. That's actually really nice.
Well, I don't know if you noticed the side mirrors on that are chrome.
Right.
So that's using the Motol pen or whatever.
Right.
So
now you're talking the actual mirror or the mirror?
Yeah, the actual mirror itself.
Right.
So no, it was a fun project, and it's done.
Well, they look awesome.
Well, thank you. I think all the cars look cool. So Outside of that, man, I've got nothing else really going on. I did
Well,
work on the
my Hot Wheel black market connection has sent me a package, so I don't have anything to work on. Jackal Garage, Gaslands related, Hot Wheels related, but I'll be painting some stuff. But I know you usually got a lot of stuff you want to debut, so I'm going to start painting. You do your thing.
Well, and I also started working on the dice tray. I got my second coat of clear on it, and again, the dice tray is going to be part of our painting competition that we're in the middle of.
Yep.
So if you guys enter, you got till April 30th at 5 p.m. Arizona time to enter in your thing, and this is going to be the artwork that goes inside.
Oh, that's awesome.
So this was the I guess it's a protective sleeve or a protective sheet that goes in the box set.
Yeah, it separates the minis from the book, so you don't have
you
don't have any of the screws poking into the books and damaging the books.
Right, it may poke into the paper, but this one was in really good shape, so I got fortunate.
Yeah, that was great.
It was important for me to make sure I kept his sword intact because I wanted his whole sword to be in the front.
Yeah, no, that came out nice, buddy.
So I'll fit this in. I'll get this glued in after this dries. So I'll give it tomorrow to dry. Then I'll glue this in place. And I'm thinking Wednesday night show, I'll do a pour. I'll do the resin pour.
Oh, okay.
So that way, if anybody's interested in doing their own thing, they can kind of see how I do the resin pour. It's not complicated, but I get to play with my torch on stream. So anytime I can play with my torch on stream,
any public display of fire, so you're a pyro.
So anyway, so the dice tray should be done this week.
I will work on a new Wolf Den PSA before we have to do that, to make sure they understand, don't set yourself on fire.
Don't do this at home. But
which, by the way, I'm actually working on, instead of just a screenshot that says PSA, I'm working on a What's New with Mike and Jeff PSA and a Wolf Den PSA, and probably eventually a Jackal Garage PSA. So,
well, and there's lots of them that we could probably do because some of the stuff we do is a little bit on the edge, especially here at Jackal Garage, because we're cutting and sawing and drilling and doing all that kind of stuff, that the potential of danger is there.
Well, what people don't know is I actually do this show live from a crocodile pit. So I've got live crocodiles. So no.
So, and I also I screwed up today.
Oh no.
I was going through my email and I go through my junk email and I'm just like delete, just deleting all my email. And I'm like deleting one, and next and as I'm deleting it, I'm kind of reading the subject line, and it's like LVO 2022 delete.
Oh no!
They responded to my request.
Yeah, but you can recover that, yeah.
No, because it was on my phone, and all my junk mail goes to permanent delete. And I've tried a few different, like I'm online, like how do I recover? You can, if it's on the desktop and I deleted it, it would have just gone into my delete folder and held for 30 days. But for some reason, the app permanently deletes.
See, here's the thing I love about my Android phone. When I delete something like that,
yeah,
I get a message at the bottom that simply says such and such email deleted, and then there's a little button that says undo, and that comes up for 10 seconds. Like, whoop, oh yeah, I got it back. So,
and that works on my main email, not the junk email. David says he has an idea of doing a dice box that looks like a swamp battlefield with leftover pits, something similar as Sam and Fro traveling across the bog in Lord of the Rings. That would be cool. What I would recommend, if you're going to do it, if you're going to do like torsos, like bodies, if you're going to actually try to do the swamp scene from Lord of the Rings or something similar, cut the miniatures in half. Get a jeweler's saw, cut them in half to make them thinner. Otherwise, the resin is really heavy. Like it's got weight to it. And you would have to pour pretty deep to do like a regular 28 millimeter miniature. You'd have a pretty thick base. But
Right.
if you went with just if you cut them in half and laid them down, I think you'd be just fine. And I think that would actually be awesome.
Yeah, I did something similar when I did a U.S. Army for Bastogne, and I put all my infantry in foxholes.
Uh-huh.
So I had to cut them all in half. So they were down inside, and then I went a little farther because I was reading a lot about Bastogne at the time, and where they actually would pile up frozen bodies around for cover.
Yeah.
And so I actually took some of the casualties and did the same thing. I had to cut those a little bit as well. So yeah.
Well, and if you think about a human body, when it freezes, it's basically a solid block of ice.
Absolutely. Because
So
we're ugly bags mostly water.
So anyways, David, I think that'll look great. And tune in on Wednesday night. I will actually be doing my resin pouring, so you can actually see the process. It's not that exciting, but I get to play with a torch.
There you go, Heike. How can you not have that happen?
All right, I'm going to switch cameras and I'm going to show off some stuff. So,
well, do your thing, take full screen. I'll be painting on some projects over here.
All right.
You put me in a bag again. You know I hate that.
You're out. Oh, there we go. You know, I messed it all up and I didn't do it right to start with, so it doesn't matter. All right. So last week we talked about a new car that I picked up.
Yeah.
And we really couldn't see it all that well because it was chrome. And so I stripped the car down so we could get a better look at it. And if you look at this car, it actually has a lot of great potential to it. First of all, you got this front section. This would be more futuristic. So I'm thinking Death Race 20. What was the futuristic Death Race? 2028?
Death Race 2000, Death Race. Well, then the rest of them were just called Death Race, but the original is Death Race 2000. See, to me, the front of that looks like a Cylon.
Ooh.
From Battlestar Galactica.
You are so right.
I would that one. I thought that's what it looked like when I first saw it. That it was something like that, and then so yeah.
So maybe paint the whole window black and just put like a little red dot.
Some kind of light streaming across it. And then I put graffiti on the side that said "By your command."
But this is all in all, it's not a bad looking car.
No.
It's got a great platform up here for any type of weaponry. Platform weapon, turret mounted weapon, anything like that. This detail on the side's pretty cool. Don't know what it could serve as a purpose for, but it's there. But I do like the front. It's got a nice ram to it. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. Right now, I just wanted to better show it off to everyone because I do think it's got some good looks to it. And it's actually in multiple pieces. So this is the body piece of it, and then you have this this skirting section,
right?
And then you got the base, the metal, and it's actually a metal base. So real easy to take this car apart because the rivets that hold it in were plastic. So I could just use a hand drill and I was done, and I didn't need to take it out and use the drill press or anything like that. But it is a neat car. So if you happen to pick one up, this is what you're kind of looking at. I think it has potential. It just obviously it needs bigger wheels. Those wheels are way too small for it, and all kinds of potential. All kinds of different things can be done to it.
Awesome.
The other thing I wanted to show you guys is when I went out car shopping today, I found this. Now, so Hot Wheels make these cars that are specific for their orange racetracks. And they make semis, but the semis are too small to be considered semis to scale,
right?
Because they're meant for the orange track,
right?
But I saw this cab, and I was just like, I could just make that a piece of like a heavy duty work truck, and there is a heavy truck in Gaslands with the four wheels in the back and the one up front. I could put like a truck bed on this. Maybe I've got what's it, Wreck-It Ralph car,
right?
That has a wrecking ball in the back. So I'm thinking I could make this, and there is rules for a wrecking ball in Gaslands,
right?
So I'm thinking it would be a good conversion job. But it was this is one of those cars. Normally I don't look too much at these cars simply because they're not really to scale. But when I saw this with the big engine in the back and those exhaust pipes, obviously the the back piece is just going to go away. I'm like, I could make that into a heavy duty or even a monster truck, and I could
a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, so good potential. Again, these are just this was $4, so I think it was worth the investment. I just don't know when I'm going to do something with it, but I will eventually do something with it.
You will eventually get around to it.
I will eventually get around to it. So that was my find for the week.
Woohoo!
So projects for today, we've got 3 of them on the table, but we'll see if we get to all 3 of them tonight. So I'm still working on David's Erikenstein.
Right.
So we've got the base. I got we did this last week. I don't know what I'm going to call it. I'm just going to fill it full of bombs. So it's going to be the bomb bay. I don't know. But I got that all filed down and built last week. So that's looking good, and it's on the right path. We also got the missiles strapped in and tied down so that it looks very kind of backwoods engineered.
Right.
What I want to do and what I want to make this car stand out from most of the other Erikensteins out there is I want to take this opening and just make it a hood scoop.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's going to be a project.
Well, I've kind of got a plan. I think it might work where it won't be too traumatic, but I'll probably end up using some epoxy sculpt to fill in some of the cracks and crevices, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking I don't want it to be too high because I don't want it to cover the front windshield. So I want it to be kind of a low profile. That Monte Carlo SS that you liked. That we talked about last week, how it has that kind of full hood scoop on it. I'm thinking something similar to that. Obviously, I want it to go the other way. I want the air to be going inwards and not on like that scoop, because that was like a backward scoop. Oh, you're welcome, David. This has been a fun project, and I want your car to stand out from everybody else's. So I have a plan on how I want to do it. So we'll experiment with it. Here's the cool thing about this. When we experiment with stuff, if it doesn't work, guess what? It's metal and plastic. We scrape it off, we sand it down, we're done, we go back to something else.
And we do it again.
We just do it again. We just keep working on it.
Yep.
This bad boy is coming along nicely. This is another one of the cars for the shop. For D. And this is kind of like an old work truck. So I want to put tonight. I just want to get IOG decals on the doors.
Right.
Once I got the IOG decals on the door, I'll do a little bit of touch-up paint and some detail paint, and then I'll need to dull this down, weather it up a little bit, and then this car is done for D, which is getting me on that road to getting those 10 cars done for him.
Sweet.
Which I'm kind of excited about.
Yeah.
And then this is the other car I'm working on for D. So we started working on this a little bit. I stripped it down and got all the chrome off it and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
What I need to do tonight is I want to get a couple. I'm just doing a couple gun barrels. I'm gonna do like I did on the bus. I'm just gonna put in a couple tubes for gun barrels.
Right.
And I want to just put them right down here. I want them to be kind of incognito. I don't want to be screaming, oh my gosh, this is a conversion or anything like that.
Right.
Because D is very much into classic cars.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I want this to still have a classic car feel to it. So I'm just thinking, let me get a pokey thing.
Pokey thing.
I'm just thinking right here, right next to the grill. Just 2 barrels.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. And the fact that this car comes apart in so many different pieces, I'll be able to do a paint job with this can be black, this will be gray, this will be red, and it'll be the shop colors, and it will look fine, and it'll all look flawless because not everything will be separate when I paint it.
Right.
And I'll probably just do a pretty decent, like normal paint job. I don't think I'm going to weather it up or anything. And hopefully D will like this.
I think he will.
Yeah, he likes his classic cars. He's into the old Duesenbergs and things like that. He's just into those classic cars. But now, because I did that other one for him, he'll have a matched pair of classic cars for his race team.
And that's all. That's great.
So that's kind of where I'm at with everything. So
that's cool.
And what we'll start with tonight is getting those decals put on. So
sweet.
And I have my selection of IOG decals. So, but I'm going to have to go with kind of a medium, smallish one. I'll probably go with that small one right there. Oh, wait, what's on this sheet? I got more. And stuff is falling. The world is falling down around me. Oh, I think those two would be perfect. Yep. Again, decal sheets. You can buy the decal sheets at IOG. Or I think Darren sells those, doesn't he?
We did. I don't think we have them anymore because they just didn't move, and so I think we blew them out, and so I don't know if they're still in stock. I can check though.
Well, you just need to make sure you have a laser printer. You can't use an inkjet.
Yep, it's got to be a laser printer.
And then you also need to make sure you buy a good clear coat. They do make a special clear coat, but you need to clear coat it after you print them.
Yeah. Also remember that they won't be able to do white as a color.
No.
Yeah. So.
And I only have a black and white printer, so guess what? I only have black and white photos.
There you go.
I don't have any fancy color printer. Laser jets are expensive for color, man.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely are.
And I got I have a special pair of scissors just for decals.
Woohoo!
Well, because you don't want to dull down your scissors.
Oh God, no. I have a pair of scissors for decals. I have a pair of scissors for photo etch brass. So.
And that's the way to go.
Now, I say that like I'm organized because they're all just thrown into a drawer. So I have to be really careful when I just reach in and grab a pair of scissors.
To make sure you grab the right ones.
The right ones.
Well, and all I'm going to do is, so with these decals, because the whole thing is a sheet, so they're not cut out, obviously. So it's up to you to kind of cut as close to the image as possible without cutting the decal up. So
yep. Now, what you're looking at here, what I'm working on, this is actually a big air belt layer that I have converted completely over to look like Bjorn the Fell-Handed.
Awesome.
You like that? I melted it down, sculpted it out. And none of this is actually,
man.
None of this is actually true. Jeff just has been a slacker, but I have good information that some really cool Hot Wheels are headed my way.
I think your grandchildren are going to be happy.
I think, well, the biggest problem I have is literally I don't have, again, as I've explained, I only have a Walmart and they don't have a big selection. And for me to get someplace else is I got to go to some, different, maybe a Target or a different type of store, because the Walmart we have here, is just crap.
Well, first of all, I enjoy buying Hot Wheels and I don't mind sharing them.
So you can see that. What I do have to do is when Darren, I think Darren has that sprue back in, I've got to make a call to my man Cody.
To your connection.
Send him some PayPal money and have him
send him some PayPal money.
I do. Basically what happens is I send Cody money through PayPal. And then Cody will actually pick it up for me, pay for it with his card, to save Darren on processing fees, because they can do my card over the phone,
right?
But by not having my card present in the store, they get hit with some fees.
Really?
And, yeah, there's a few more fees. So to save them that, Cody and I have worked on that cool plan. And then normally when I have Cody do that, he then takes it to the post office and ships it to me, and I give him $10 over the top just for all the hassle he's going through to get me the stuff.
I just sat here and I cut that decal all up, and then I swooped all the pieces into my trash, and I swooped the decal into my trash.
What's that on the table there?
I have two.
You
cut that one all up. That was a Mike moment.
I laugh because I've done that myself.
Yeah, I'm really mad at myself for screwing up that email from Frontline Gaming.
Yeah, now you're gonna have to contact him and
I did.
Okay, y'all put it up.
Yeah. Well, I contacted him and I talked to Reese, and he said, well, he gave me the guy's name that's heading out his event. Said if he sent you anything, he'd be the one to send it. So he said just send him another message and he'll resend it to you.
Yeah.
It's just funny when you call, like, I don't know. It's when I used to call Neil from the War Store when the War Store was around, and Neil would answer the phone. I'm like, hey, Neil. He's like, hey. I'm like, I didn't know you answered the phone. He's like, yeah.
Neil and I actually, my sales team at GW actually opened his account.
Really?
And I dealt with Neil from the beginning of War Store. And he and I had some, because you know the relationship between GW and internet and all that stuff.
Yeah. He was one of the first internet guys, wasn't he?
Yeah. Neil and I had this relationship because I love the guy to death. He was a great guy. But we fought constantly because he would always, he's one of those guys, my volume sales indicate I should get this. And I was a sales manager. It's like, yeah, well, let me enlighten you.
You don't get that.
And we fought constantly, but I always loved having him around because he was just a fun guy. I was very, very saddened when he passed. It was a very, very sad day. And Harry Heckle, the guy that one of my team members who opened it, he actually opened his account. We were both very, 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 we were very mournful that day.
It was a recent thing too, wasn't it?
In the last couple of years, yeah. I think it was after I moved back here.
Well, because they literally just closed the store.
Yeah, well, you know his store. He had a nursery is where his store was at.
Right.
It was you'd go there and you would buy plants and trees and there was a small section of GW there that was public, but most of his 95% of his sales were online.
Oh boy.
What's up?
I messed up my decal.
You messed up your decal?
My decal.
Did my talking distract you?
No. My impatience distracted me.
Oh. Because I'm talking so much tonight. I normally don't talk quite as often, but my head is throbbing, so I'm trying to keep my mind up.
All right. That decal's dead.
Dead decal.
Oh boy, it happens. So I tried to use the because remember that problem I had last time?
Yes.
So I was using the micro saw and it curled one of the ends up.
Oh no.
Pretty bad. So it just wasn't going to work for me tonight.
Did you put micro set down first?
On the model?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Just some tips from because I've done it many times. Before I put the micro sol on, I would take a paper towel and wrap it tightly around my finger and just press down on the decal to kind of pull up any excess water around the edge. So now that can cause it to a little more adhesion to the body where the decal's going. So when you put sol on it, it doesn't have a tendency to curl like that.
Gotcha.
If that helps. I hope that helps.
Well, we'll find out.
Or you can heat the can before you spray it. Oh,
wait, different thing.
Different thing. Sorry.
Yeah, I just put the can under my armpit for like 10 minutes.
That'll work. Radar O'Reilly used to heat his sandwiches that way.
Yes.
Again, dating myself with a MASH reference.
I don't think you're dating yourself with a MASH reference. I think MASH is still...
I have been nostalgic as of late, and I have been watching MeTV MASH every night, other than when I'm doing the live stream, because it comes on at 9.
We started watching because we heard rumor that the season 2 of The Witcher has been recorded. So we went ahead and started rewatching The Witcher.
Season 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that as well.
So we're kind of looking forward to seeing the second season, see if it holds up, see if they what they do. You know how it is.
Well, I know you're not a big Star Trek guy, but the new Picard season trailer is out as well, which is awesome. I am not going to mention any details about it because it is awesome.
Just the trailer, or
That's the trailer. If you're a Star Trek fan and you watch that trailer, you will understand why I'm saying it's so awesome. Because it's not, that season is not due out until 2022.
really?
So they just did kind of a sneak peek trailer.
Okay.
And it is, as I said earlier, awesome.
Just trying to get people excited about it.
It was so awesome that Darren actually called me and said, "Go to this website. You have to watch this right now while I'm on the phone."
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I strongly disagree. Strongly disagree with what, Joe?
I think that the trailer was awesome.
So now what I'm going to do this time around is, I am off camera, so you guys can't even see what I'm doing.
And I'm sorry, I should have been watching that.
I'm not cutting out some of the corners so that the name can't curl as easily.
Well, Joe, you can't make a statement like that and not let us know for sure what you're actually talking about. Are you talking about you did not like the Picard trailer? Or are you talking about the fact that not to do the... Seriously? Oh, well, that's good to know. I used to like you as a friend, Joe, but I guess we can't talk anymore.
My interest in AIDS season 2 has been diminished. Season 2 of The Witcher? Or Picard? I thought Picard was a good show.
Which one are we talking about?
Help us out, Joe. Q.
He's talking he's not. My head is hurting even more now. All right, so it's Picard. Well, that's fine. You don't have to like it. I know that Darren and I were all excited about it, so I'm surprised by that, but okay. Fair enough.
And the Picard show isn't a Star Trek show, is it? It's not Star Trek. It's just Picard.
Well, it's set in the Star Trek universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I dabbed off the excess water. I feel I got the piece lined up. So the one thing Andy and I have been watching is Men in Kilts.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the Outlander guys.
Yeah.
Those two dudes are complete goofballs, and they're actually kind of funny to watch. So they're touring Scotland and just showing all the different cultures and stuff of Scotland. So we've been pleasantly surprised because those two guys are just complete goofballs. We're trying not to drop any spoilers.
Well, I didn't drop it, so I don't have any guilt.
All right. So I got one side done, and before I go flipping the car over and trying to do the other side, I will let this fully dry. And I'll probably end up having to put a couple more coats of microset on it, because you can see, or microsol, because you can see how the decal's wrinkling up.
Yeah.
And all of that will start to flatten out. The thing is you don't want to touch it. This is where people make a mistake. Is they start wanting to play with this because they're like, oh my God, and they try taking like a paintbrush and smoothing out. Just leave it alone.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Because what's happening right now is the decal's basically, I don't want to say melting, but it's going through a process right now. And this is at a gloss finish on it. So it's kind of shrunk up, but it will all smooth out. And then I'll do a couple more coats of micro sol on it before the evening is done. And then I'll flip around and do the other side. But I think that's going to look cool for the car, especially after I matte varnish it all and do some rusting and chipping and some little detail things on it. I'm not going to get carried away with it. I'm going to keep this very, I'm not going to make it a rust bucket.
Right. Absolutely.
But I definitely need to paint the grill part silver, the screening on the windows silver. I want to paint that box, probably just black.
Right.
And then I'll definitely make the bed of the truck look mucky because it's a bed of a truck. But yeah, so we'll let that sit. And now we're going to move on to the big challenge. So let me put some stuff away. And let me get my box of scrap.
Crap.
So what I'm going to use is just a thin piece of plastic card. So what my thought is I'm just going to cut a piece. I'm going to measure out the inside. So I want to cut a piece that just fits on the inside.
Right.
And I'll cut it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it a little bit long on the sides and the back. And then I'm just going to fold it because this stuff is thin. And hopefully I'll be able to just scoop it in real fast.
Right.
Glue it in place and be done. Because I don't want it's not going to stick out real high, but I do need to have some sides and a back on it a little bit, not a lot. So that's the vision.
Okay, run that by me again.
Okay. I'm going to cut a piece off. I'm just going to put it underneath like this. I'm going to measure, just draw it out.
Right.
Okay, then I'm going to cut it. But when I cut it, I'm going to cut the sides a little bit longer and the back a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm literally just going to fold the plastic and then just kind of pop it in place.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I see what you're saying.
So that's kind of the idea.
How that works. That'd be awesome.
If it works, it's going to be great.
Yeah, no, it'll be great. I'm kind of curious to see how that goes.
And I think this is really going to set this car apart from a lot of the other Erikensteins that we see in the Gaslands world.
Right.
And that's what I like about this thin plastic card. You can pretty much do a lot with it. Like you can just fold it and twist it, and it's not that complicated to work with.
Yeah, true.
So we will see how I do. My whole room smells like varnish right now, by the way.
There's nothing wrong with that. Should have some cheese there just to go along with that.
Some cheese.
Just enjoy the atmosphere and eat some cheese.
All right, so I'm not going to be able to put a piece of plastic card underneath simply because of the body design, but I can just put it on the top to trace out my design, because this isn't squared at all. Obviously, it's angled, and that's what's going to make this a little bit more challenging. That's why I wanted to trace it out so I can get the right angles. And the thing that's cool is if it's a little bit long or short, like because I'm tracing it, so it's going to be a little bit short.
Right.
I think it'll still be okay because then it'll just make it smaller. So there's the shape itself.
Right.
So that's going to be the front right here. So this needs to be cut straight. But this, I'll cut it just a little bit long, like right about there. And the same thing for the sides here. And actually, I need to cut. Yeah, there we go. Just like this.
Sure.
And then I'm just going to fold it all when I'm done.
Okay, cool.
So we'll see. David, this is a whole experiment on this car. But if this turns out good, then your car will have a hood scoop.
High risk, high reward.
Well, like I said, it's just plastic and metal. So And David, you need to start thinking about colors. What color do you want your car painted? I don't know if you have a favorite color. It will work. David's got confidence in me.
We all do, buddy.
But yeah, start thinking about what color you want your car. Pink. Okay.
I've been having this itch that when I do my next car, I want to do a really intricate paint job.
Plastic and metal in the hands of a master. All right. What kind of an ink? What kind of a paint job? What are you thinking?
I don't know yet. It depends. It really depends on the car. But I want to do like 3 colors, stripes. That that kind of where I got to do a lot of masking, a lot of intricate design. I actually have some knotwork stencils. I've been wanting to try out, so I'm thinking about doing something with kind of knotwork down the side.
Cool.
So,
you know what I'm thinking about doing for this bus?
What?
You know how the old Mike? Do you have any 74 Bandit Trans Ams? I think I have a Firebird. No, I think I do have one Trans Am. They didn't make a lot. I don't see a lot of the Bandit Trans Ams. But I think I do have one that might work, that you'd have to completely repaint it. What I'm thinking about doing remember World War II, they used to do the mouth pieces, like the red mouth with the teeth for airplanes.
Yeah.
Could you imagine hand painted though? I need a pointy thing. Starting from here, going up the sides like that, and coming back to here. So the whole mouth would be here to here.
Yeah.
And taking up this and just hand painting the whole thing.
That looked really good.
It would be a challenge. So what I'll probably end up doing is doing a base of primer and then draw that out. I'll have to use a template for the base of the shape so that I get kind of symmetrical sides.
Right.
And then just kind of draw in the teeth.
Sweet. Yeah, that'd be good.
I haven't decided if I was going to do that or not.
Yeah, that'd be sexy.
It'd be different.
Absolutely would be.
All right. So for what I need to do, since I'm going to be folding all of this, I need to notch the corners.
Yep.
So that this all folds up nicely. So we just need to do a little cuts.
I stepped away from my painting for a minute so I could down 30 million aspirin.
Living on aspirin.
Aspirin and Aleve. Those are my go-to pain meds right now. My liver's not speaking to me, but
I think your liver's probably happier it's that than
what it used to be.
Yes, I think your liver is just fine.
I think it's like, here, just do your thing, man.
All right, so it's probably easier for me to just use my X-Acto blade since I changed my blade out and this stuff is so thin than using my scissors. Well, I hope I didn't ruin my chances to do the LVO thing.
No, I don't think you did. I think you're good. The nice thing about the guys that run LVO, they're usually pretty easy to work with.
Yeah, and they're pretty kind of disorganized.
I mean, well, the thing is, though, you knew you're okay when you actually knew the guy you were talking to.
Yeah.
I called in and talked to, it was a name, it was a guy. It wasn't customer service monkey number 12.
Well, what it is, Reese is the owner of the business.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
So it's like, oh boy. All right. So now we need to fold this. And
you want to take full screen, buddy?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, you don't have to. I'm not even working on cars. I'm working on a 40K model. So. And
what I'm going to use is my what would you call these needle nose pliers?
Yeah.
Ooh, wait, I think I have flat ones because these have grooves in it, even though they're pretty shot. Let me see if I got flat ones. Hold on. I am still with you. I am just digging through my box of tools. Yes, I do. I have flat ones. Joe, I will look a little closer to see if I have a 77 Pontiac Firebird. I believe it's Trans Am. Sorry, you want Trans Am. I'll see if I have one. I don't know if I do or if I don't. All right, so with these are flat. So there's no grooves in here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to line up everything. And we're literally just going to fold this. Hoping I have anything. So that just made a flat edge, and then it's just going to kind of glue in spot. It just gives me a place to glue this down at. So we're just going to see how this turns out. I don't know for sure. I may have to do a couple of these. And once I fold it, I'm going to fold it back because I need to do the sides. And Joe, if I don't have one, we know where to go to get one. Because we can just go to the Hot Wheel store up by your house. I haven't been up there in months.
I had planned this big trip to Harbor Freight this weekend.
Oh yeah,
and I got the bike all ready to go, and then it poured down rain that day.
You get a lot of that.
I do. We get a lot of rain up here. It's like living in England.
All right, so here comes the cream of the resistance. And I'll probably end up having to do the baking soda trick on this.
Baking soda trick.
Oh, shoot. I cut it wrong.
I hate it when I do that.
Nope, I did it right.
I hate it when I do that.
Rain. What is this rain thing you speak of? Yeah.
Could you tell that person that I'm not speaking to her?
Oh.
You know I'm teasing, Joe. I'm just picking on you.
All right. So it's a little tight. So let's try this again from the top, and maybe we'll get a better fit because I was trying to sneak in from the bottom. Again, this is almost like working with cardboard. And again, cardboard is something you could do this with. I know lots of guys that just use cardboard as plastic card.
Yeah. I always feel like I honestly feel like I'm cheating though when I think about doing that.
So I feel like it's just a little bit long. So I just need to cut a little bit off the back side. Stressful moment. All right, we will try again.
Trial and error.
Well,
it's what we do.
It is what we do. So, and I got to paint this pink when I'm done because David said he wants it painted pink.
I hate doing lettering.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'm not good enough at it to where I'm consistent on the thickness of the letters. So
like your letters are inconsistent.
Yeah, one will be thicker as far as the paint strokes to another, and I got to go back through and touch them up, and it makes me a little crazy.
Oh, I thought you were serious, David. All right, dude, I'm gonna take full screen for a sec.
All right, how about knock stuff out?
Tell me what you think. So that's what I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, yeah, that looks nice. Oh, that is awesome.
So I don't know if I want to lower the back a little bit more so it's not as obvious,
Right.
but that's kind of what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. That looks great.
So I do think it's going to need. Oh, glad you like it, David. Would just say I'll be honest. Give a
He's
look.
talking about Picard.
I'm pretty cued out. Okay. So, anyways, David, that's what we're looking at. So this is going to set your car apart from everybody else's because I've never seen an Erikenstein where they've taken a lot of people have covered the hood and done things like that, but making a hood scoop and just word to you, David, I am going to give you a couple Erikensteins that are unassembled or unbuilt. I really think you might want to consider 3D printing and selling like scoops for the Erikenstein and maybe even making something that can cover up the sunroof or something like that. But I really think you should probably consider making those 3D printed. That is my advice for the young entrepreneur that is David. All right, I'm going to get off full screen here. I'm going to zoom back out. Let me get this stuff off my desk. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to reinforce so you can see how it kind of bows a little bit. So now I think what we need to do is we need to reinforce the underside of this. So what I'll take is a thicker piece of plastic card and put that underneath it just to stiffen it up a little bit. As soon as I can find a thicker piece that I think is feasible for such a project.
Feasible.
That should work. Actually, that's going to do it. All right, because this has kind of grids on it. So I know it's 3 by 2. So that's going to make it easier for me to cut this. Yeah, David, I think it's a good idea, man. You just making like little accessory parts for cars. That way, like people that don't have the ability to like strip cars and build stuff from the ground up can maybe just do, what would we call those? Bolt-on pieces? Like bolt-on accessories?
Yeah.
They do for cars?
Yep.
All right, just needs a little bit more of a trim.
They're really big with motorcycles, all bolt-on stuff.
Yeah, like a lot of the Weekend Warrior Harley dudes.
Yep. As a matter of fact, there's certain things, if you get bolt-on, you kind of look, you're like, oh, bolt-on. Okay, whatever. You're not a real biker.
You're no biker, me.
That whole mentality makes me crazy anyway.
What's that?
The whole here's my philosophy on biking. No rules, just ride. I don't care what it is.
Right.
If it's got 2 wheels and you're riding it, have at it. And a motor, of course.
Well, motors aren't important.
Well, they are, for me anyway, because pedaling would kill me.
That's true.
Pedaling would kill me.
What gets me, though, are just the irresponsible guys. You know that.
Yeah.
The weaving in and out of traffic and.
Oh. That didn't help much.
All right. So what I'm doing here is I'm just making a piece to reinforce the bottom of this so that it'll go in flat. and I'm also going to be able to keep my sides a lot better. So I'm going to get my really fancy clamps out.
Ooh, fancy clamps.
Oh, wait till you see these, man. These are like top dollar clamps. There you go. Best clamps on the market. You can't beat a clothespin.
No, I agree.
I have super glue. There it is. So let me get this glued down real fast. I'm going to get a little sloppy with it. I'm okay with that. And then we're going to glue this in place. We're going to clamp it, clamp it, clamp it. And then I'm just going to kind of hold the sides up.
By the man named Jade.
Sorry, I was off camera again. I am terrible at this streaming stuff, you guys.
I'm sorry. I should have been paying attention again.
That's all right. But yeah, David, I'll get you. I'm going to get you a couple Big Air Bel Airs, a couple Erikensteins. I'm going to get you a couple Bone Shakers. I kind of want to give you a bunch of the cars that are like really popular in the Gaslands world. And your black market connection sent you a El Camino with the jet engine in the back, Jeff.
Say again.
Your connection sent you an El Camino with the jet engine in the back of it.
Oh, sweet.
Which is another one of the real popular cars in Gaslands.
I'm so looking forward to it.
So this is done for right now. So that's just going to sit and dry. So by next week, David, I will have this in place. I'll probably just cover up the sunroof. That's not that exciting. You guys have seen me do it before. I'm just going to take a piece of plastic card, glue it underneath, and then I'm just going to cut a piece out and set it in there. It'll be a little raised, and then I'll sand it down and epoxy sculpt it so the sunroof is completely gone. And I think as far as the build goes, this is pretty much done. I will find a place to put your fire extinguisher, and then we're going to put a bunch of bombs inside there. That's going to be just a look thing. So I think that's just going to look hilarious, just personally. And then I'll probably strap down a fire extinguisher on here someplace. Maybe I'll just put it over on this side, just like wire it in place like we did over here. We'll just have it wired in.
That might work.
Actually, I got an idea. I'm going to have to cut this off, obviously, the top of the engine. I could actually set it right back here on this floorboard.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I forgot to get those running boards.
So I think it'll look cool right there because it's actually got a little, if you look at that, it's got like a little stand thing right here.
Yeah.
Just put it right there. Just stand it straight up and just have it sitting there.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, many people actually notice that. So anywho. And then, yeah, we're going to cut the top of the engine off so that the scoop fits, but we want to make sure we leave all that detail in place so that people can still see that. But then the scoop's going to cover all that up. So we'll cut that. So I think this thing's going to look pretty awesome when it's done.
That car always looks good when you do something with it because it's just a really, really great base car to build off of.
Yeah. And then you and I like to build the crazy chop a bone shaker in half, chop an Erikenstein in half, and put them together. All right, you guys saw earlier. I'm gonna take full screen real fast.
Go right ahead, buddy.
You saw how that decal was all wrinkly and yucky looking. Now look at it. It's all smooth as silk.
There you go.
So that is why you don't mess with it. Patience is the key. I will definitely get this all clear coated. I'll probably hit it with a coat of gloss over everything because gloss goes on thick. So hopefully it hides some of the decal seams.
Yep.
And then I'll hit it with the matte coat. But we've got to get the other decal on now.
Woohoo!
I'm designing the rail rockets.
There's actually no reason to switch back from full screen because I have stopped painting because I have to. There you go.
Okay.
I'm not doing anything on camera. I'm dealing with static. So.
Dude, if you need to go,
Nope, I'm good. I'm good. I'm sitting here in a semi-dark room. I'll be all right.
okay. You got a little migraine going on?
Yeah, I've been getting them about every night with the whole thing going on with this whole. Never mind. So whatever.
Well, David, once you get that rocket launcher designed and built, hook me up with a couple, and I will pimp them out for you. I feel like such a whore.
You're probably pimping out rocket launchers actually make you an arms dealer of the sort.
Sounds like a good. Any pickups for a flatbed truck? Should be good for any pickups for a flatbed truck. All right. I've got about 100 different flatbed trucks.
Yeah, it's kind of a given unless they never made the Hot Wheel. Chance of you not having it are
Slim to nil.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, all right, we'll give this decal a little bit of time to dissolve and loosen up. But I think this is going to look really nice. And this missing paint right here gets covered up. It's actually when I built this car, I made sure the back wheels were really tight against the body because it's actually going to be how it glues the back down.
Right.
It's going to be part of how it keeps the car together. Man, that's going to look really nice.
I'm liking it.
I think Darren's going to have a great collection of cars.
I'm liking it a lot.
He's going to. Weren't these going to be used for like he's going to a convention in his hometown or whatever?
Yeah, up in Montana. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to run gas lands, and that's what he's wanting them for.
So. All right, so we'll get this one on, and once we get this one on, we'll mess around a little bit more with the other. I want to get a paper towel down so I don't scratch up that decal I laid down. So this comes the hard part. Like I got to eye it here and kind of follow it around to make sure I
find a proper landmark on either side and kind of line up with that.
Yeah, you know how it goes. It doesn't have to be perfect, but because it is, it's going to be like a work truck, so
yeah.
So it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to look cool.
Yeah,
you want it to look close. And I think I'm close. So what I'll do from here is get a little bit of the microsol on it. And again, it's going to wrinkle up. It's going to look terrible, but we're just going to leave it alone and it will dry beautifully and it won't be a problem at all. So I will set that off to the side. Carefully and gingerly. Clean this up. Clean this up. Oh, hey, stuff is dropping over here. I'm throwing stuff all over the place. All right. And then here's the scoop. Here's the scoop. All right. Here's the scoop.
The scoop.
The scoop.
Buddy, I'm sitting there thinking about it. I'm going to shut these lights out. My head's just starting to throb. So I'm going to bail. I'm really sorry.
It's all right, dude.
Sorry, guys.
I appreciate you showing up.
Yeah. So I will see everybody Wednesday. I'll make sure I take extra steps on Wednesday.
But, all right, Jeff. Well, thank you very much. I'm just going to get this glued on for the night, and then I'm going to call it anyway. So,
all right, buddy. We'll have a good night. See you guys later. Joe, we'll have to talk.
Joe's in trouble. All right. So here's where we're at with that. I really like how this turned out. I'm really happy with this, David. So what I'll end up doing is where those corners are is I'll end up filling those with epoxy sculpt so that I cover up those holes. But I think this scoop looks really nice. And that extra piece of plastic, that extra piece of plastic that reinforced that really just makes it flatter. so that it just looks really cool. But I'm happy with that. So before we glue it in, what I want to do is I want to flatten out the plastic so that it's nice and smooth looking, just like that. Now I could go down lower with the front of that scoop. Let's try that real fast before we finalize anything. So if I go down lower in the front, a little bit higher in the back, I don't like that. That's too, I think that looks better. Oh, just put my thumb right through it. Man, David, this is going to look, I'm super happy with this. So now we want to just get a visual, kind of make sure that the sides look the same. Because what's going to be easy about gluing this in is I can glue it from the underside and it will stick in place just fine. So right now we're just kind of, it's all being done by eyeball. And you can see why I didn't want it too tall on the top. I didn't want it to cover the window. So I didn't want like one of those crazy like race car ones that you would see. So I just wanted a nice hood scoop on there. God, I'm impressing myself with this one. All right. So David, any last words before I glue it together? Any feedback for that? I'm quite happy with it. All right, I got nothing from you, buddy. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this in. And I think that, yeah, all right, looks great. So we're just going to get some glue in the cracks there. I'm going to get a little quiet when I'm doing this. I'll get the excess glue out with a Q-tip. Just kind of push it around a little bit. But you can see I got glue up in there. So what I'll probably end up doing is, well, first of all, we'll let it dry. I'm not going to really do anything with it when it's wet. Is I'll probably, because this front piece wasn't flat. It was kind of rounded. So I'll probably end up filling that with some epoxy sculpt just to make it look as one piece. The sides came out perfect. And then since I got to fill those little end corners with epoxy sculpt, I'll just do it all at the same time. So I'll probably get that done during the week. Maybe have it done for the weekend. But yeah, that's what your car is looking like so far, David. I think that hood scoop looks awesome. I'll probably have to file a little bit off of one side just to make it look it looks a little off to me. But that's an easy thing to correct once the glue dries. So yeah, that's what we did. We made a hood scoop tonight, you guys. Pretty simple, pretty easy. It wasn't too hard to make. It was just a matter of using the thin plastic card, which is the equivalent of using cardboard, to kind of get my shape down. And David, I will worry about that. I worry about that kind of stuff all the time. I'm putting my name on this car as much as you're putting your name on it. So it looks like it's just a bit of the thicker plastic is sticking out. So I'm not too worried about it. It'll clean up real quick and easy with a file. I want it to look pretty. It'll actually be a good spot, like, to put a decal. Trying to think, these are supposed to be half-baked cars from parts in the junkyard. I agree, and we're okay with it, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel about it once it's all dry and I'm playing around with it. But this would be a good spot for a decal. So when you figure out what color you want to paint your car, I will then kind of rummage around and look for some decals, and maybe put like a cool decal right there. Something like that. So, well, thank you, David. I do enjoy building these cars. It is a lot of fun. But we will be chopping a lot, like this whole top half of this engine is going to be coming off so that it will fit underneath. So we'll be making some modifications to that. But outside of that, that part is done. I'm not going to really work on this tonight because this is just going to be drilling a couple holes, putting a couple barrels in, and calling it done. So that's not too exciting. So let me switch cameras real fast because it's around 8:15. So we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. Well, thank you all very much for joining us and hanging out. Jeff had to cut out early. He wasn't feeling well, but we got the decals on the old Ford truck. So that's going to be one of the IOG vehicles. I'll have 10 of those done pretty soon. I think this is my 10th one. Once I finish this, then I'll have all 10 of those cars done for Darren. And I'll get those over to the shop, and he'll probably put them on display. And then when he goes to Montana to teach Gaslands, he'll probably take those with us. David, we're going to be getting your car. We'll finish all the detail work on your car next week for sure. Like, we'll go through and we'll get the bombs glued in the little bomb bay. I think that's hilarious. We'll get the bombs glued in the little bomb bay. We'll do some more little detail work to it, and then we'll be ready to paint. So think about your color during the week, what color you want me to paint the car. And dude, I am super excited to get this car going for you. And then also I'm going to start working on the bus. I do like the idea of putting like the teeth marks or the open mouth marks like they used to do to the old World War II airplanes. I think that would look really cool on this. It'll just give it a real cool retro look to it. I did find some body tattoos that I thought would be cool on this, but once I started thinking about those teeth, I'm like, I think we're just going to leave it like that. So that's going to be a fun little project. And then we still have the half of the Erikenstein car that I started. So I need to start getting like parts and pieces of that glued together. So we are making some progress on some projects. But I do need to start pulling out some other projects to start working on so that I can try to keep my hands busy while we're doing the show. One of the challenges streaming is sometimes when you're working on like a project like this and you get to like, oh, I just glued everything down. Now I can't touch it for at least 30 minutes while I let all the CA glue harden up and dry. So you need to have something else to work on. So I need to get some other projects out here on the desk for me to work on. So yay. And I'll keep you guys posted on the LVO progress, or the if I'm going to be able to teach at the Las Vegas Open, because if that does happen, I'm going to use you guys as my test bed for talking, the material we're going to put together, the things we're going to talk about in the class, because I think you guys will be the best audience to help me formulate a lesson plan. And in my mind, I'm thinking it's going to be like a 2-hour session with like the first hour going over kind of my philosophy with building the different products available and things like that. And then the second half will be hands-on, like chopping up stuff and putting it on the cars and kind of building the cars. I'll take a bunch of anything you need for that. David, if you want to 3D print a bunch of parts for that class, if it happens, if you want to 3D print a bunch of the fire extinguishers and random bits and pieces, I'll be more than happy to take them with me and let people grab them and put them on their cars. More than happy to do that. We're probably not going to be doing. I could print a set of wheels for. Yeah, if you want to print up some wheels for everybody, that'd be great. We'll work on it. Let me first find out if I'm invited to teach the class. That's going to be the important thing. I feel stupid that I deleted that email, but it happens. It was in my junk folder, and I was just like junk. I get so much junk email anymore. It's worse than regular mail. But my thoughts for that class, maybe an hour-long session or a 45-minute session on just, how to build cars, different philosophies on building cars like we've done here. You don't have to use a lot of parts and pieces. It can be, tubes and toothpicks. You can do a lot of different things. If it happens, David, it won't happen till January 2022. So we got plenty of time. I just hope that they're interested in me teaching it. It's at a new hotel, so there may be a lot of restrictions, that they're only going to have so many classrooms. I don't know what they're going to be doing at the new hotel. So we will find out. But outside of that, you guys, the dice tray for the hobby, painting competition is getting worked on. David, I'll be pouring on Wednesday night, pouring the resin. So if you want to tune in to check that out, I would strongly encourage it, especially since you're talking about building dice trays and making your little swamp thing. I think would be a really cool idea. So I will be pouring that hopefully on Wednesday and kind of going through that process. The main thing is getting the bubbles out of the resin, and I use a torch technique with a butane lighter that spews out like a torch, and I think you'll dig it. So hopefully we'll have that good to go, and I'll have it done by the weekend. It should be dry. It takes a while for that resin to fully cure and dry. So it gets crystal hard. It's awesome. Good stuff. But Wednesday night we'll be on the Wolf's Den, hanging out with Jeff. I'll be working back on Gazgul, getting Gaz all painted up and everything done with him. And then I won't be on Saturday. Saturday I'll be in California at Disneyland on Saturday. So I won't be here on Saturday, but I'll definitely be here Wednesday night for you guys, hanging out and painting Gazgul Thraka. And then I'll be back definitely next Monday, where we'll jump back into some of these builds. I should have that Ford truck pretty much ready to go by Wednesday or by next Monday, and a few other projects. So anyways, thank you all very much for hanging out with me and Jeff. And we will be back on Wednesday night. So thank you all very much. Have a great week, and I will see you Wednesday night. Bye.